I got to go back to Austin Reaves. If we beat up on him and blamed him for the loss in game 1, then we need to look at him and say, hey, this is now game 4 that you've come back. You rushed back as fast as you could. We all appreciate that. But if you're going to put on the uniform and you're going to go out there, then people expect you to play the way they've seen you play.
Yeah, high-level basketball is what you're expecting from him, and to be that number 2 guy that he's supposed to be. But again, Cappy, it's not even just about Austin Reaves getting off shots. He got off a couple of shots. There was times he would go into the paint and go up for a shot and would get blocked because they have these long arms of Chet Holmgren or Isaiah Hartenstein or just even a Kason Wallace who's on him or whoever it happens to be from that team that's a plus defender. It's not so much about Austin Reaves for me. It's about what the Thunder are going to do about that. They know that Austin Reaves is a huge part of this game and what he has to be good for the Lakers to win. So they're going to key on him just as much as they key on LeBron. So that's what I kind of want to know from you. What do you think they're going to do? How is he going to get by them?
Great job, Berkey. That's how you pin him. That's how you pin
Cappy. Got me. Berkey, you got me down. You got me down on the ground. And the referee is going to go 1, 2, and then I'm just going to kick out just right before the 3 count. Look, your point is made on me. They're an excellent defensive team. We've talked about it going into the series. They're a historically great defensive basketball team. So it's not just about Austin Reaves and how they're going to defend him. But to your point, why would they not just shut him down? Why would they not go about trying to shut him down and just say, hey, look, LeBron can't beat us by himself.
Right.
I mean, right? LeBron can score 40 points tonight, and it may not be enough. True?
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
So,
because if Austin Reaves gives you 10 and he scores 40.
Well, so if LeBron – look, listen, without Luka and Austin Reaves at full strength, you're eliminating 50 points per game. At least, right? I mean, look at Luka's average. Look at Austin's average. It's 50 points you don't have when you don't have Luka and Austin playing together. And now you've got an Austin Reaves who's I'm guessing he's not 100%. And by the way, not only is he still recovering from this oblique strain, but what happened to him in game 1? And yes, I did say he was thrown around like a rag doll. When Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was thrown into his chest, I thought he broke his sternum. When he knocked
he
knees,
he broke it.
Yeah, seriously, I thought his sternum was just cracked. Right? Yeah. When he locked knees, when he banged knees, I thought his knee was going to blow up and swell. The guy is not 100%. You're asking a lot from him. LeBron said it the other night. But the bottom line is this. Hey, kid, you're putting on the uniform. You're putting on the sneakers. You're going out there representing. We have an expectation of what you're supposed to be. And if you can't be that guy, then freaking don't play.
Yeah, but we also go back. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but it's not just because he's injured with the oblique. Yes, that is absolutely a factor. But this has been his entire time on the Lakers as in the postseason. In the postseason, he's not big enough. He's not strong enough to play against these good teams. Being able to do it against the Utahs and the Brooklyns in the regular season and put up 35 points because he can do whatever he wants, it's different against these types of teams. You had the Terror Twins in Houston that would just that shut him down. And now you have the entire Oklahoma City team, 1 through 15, who are good defenders. It's not so much about his injury as it is just what he's been in the playoffs because he's not big or strong enough.
I would say to you that you're right, that the opponent is an excellent defensive team, that Austin Reaves has had his postseason struggles, to be sure, and so this is his opportunity. Hey, we're all doubting you, right? I mean, we are all now doubting Austin Reaves. We are now thinking to ourselves, do you really want to put the money into Austin Reaves that he might be eligible to receive? Do you really want to put that kind of money into this guy if every single year this is the sort of postseason that you're going to get out of the guy? But I would say this, if he was the focal point on the loss because he was so bad at shooting and his 3 points were over and his passing on lobs were terrible, if you can't watch the film and you can't get coached up and you can't see what happened in game 1 and make adjustments, then maybe you're not right for this team. And maybe what this team should be thinking about going forward is, hey, look, LeBron's on a heater right now, and we all can appreciate that. It ain't going to last much longer. And by the way, as far as Luka's concerned, bro, take a seat. Relax. Chill.
Oh.
You ain't coming back.
So, if with Austin Reaves, do you think that maybe the game is just a little bit in the playoffs? It's just a little too physical for him. This is kind of how he's been in the postseason, just in general. When he played against Minnesota, they had Jaden Daniels on him, or McDaniels on him, and he was very physical with him. Ant was very physical with him. That's what's the Terror Twins in Houston, and the kind of what OKC is doing now. Is the postseason just a little too physical for Austin Reaves?
Well, I hear what you're getting at, Greg. I mean, it does make some sense. If you look back at the full history of Austin Reaves in the postseason, and we go back to the 2023 run, which is kind of when he announced himself to the national audience, right? That was the I Am Him, the Memphis series. Mm-hmm. Then he plays great against Golden State, and then against Denver, he's averaging like an efficient 25-5, 55%. Now, in that case, right, he was the number 3 because it was LeBron, it was AD, and then he was the number 3. So we fast forward to the next year, and when or even fast forward to this year, Luka Doncic is taking that initial hit from the defense with the top of the key, the screen roll, and then Reaves is on the weak side attacking. He's close to 25-5 on high efficiency, and that's with LeBron kind of rotating between that 1A job and the 2 job. But when you ask Austin Reaves, or really almost any top 10 star in the league, to be that first piece that's going to go at a defense in the form of Minnesota last year in the playoffs or OKC this year in the playoffs, I would put the Spurs in that same category. I don't know if there's anybody in the East. Well, certainly Detroit. We'll see what they have their own offensive issues, but from a defensive standpoint, like that is going to be tough sledding on Austin Reaves, and that's why you're much better off if you have Luka Doncic first, and that's kind of the game breaker. And then you have Austin who can attack on the second side. So, can he raise his game and be better as the 1 against those types of teams? Yes, but that's certainly not ideal, and that's not what you're going into a season wanting to ask him to do. It's a very difficult job. There's only a couple guys in the league that can do it efficiently.
How can Austin Reaves, who got off 16 shots, he got off 5 shots from 3-point range, how can Austin Reaves somehow, now in his 4th game back after missing a month, being thrown right into the playoff heat, how can Austin Reaves become significantly more important offensively in terms of scoring tonight?
So I think about his 3 games, and when he first came back, he had that first quarter, and he hit a 3, and he hit his other shot, and he had, I think, like 6 and 3, and I'm like, okay, he's back. And then he only went like 2 of 13 after that, but he got to the line 13 times, right? Then he struggled again the next game, but he had that third quarter where he had 4 straight buckets at the rack, 8 points, and he looked like Austin Reaves. But then OKC, right? Like he had looks, and he's not knocking them down. So for me, I just think he has to do what he's always done and keep attacking. And he has to hit some threes, guys. Like for Austin Reaves, I think to have that game where, and honestly, I think he's got to have 20 to 28 points for them to win a game. Like I think he's got to hit 3 threes. I think he's got to get to the line 8 times. I think he's got to hit that little floater, and he's just not doing it. So he's not a kid that lacks confidence. So you just have to keep going. I know he's had a bad few games, and I know LeBron talked about being off a month, and I agree with all of that, but there was no other choice, man, but to keep going and keep attacking and keep playing the way that you do, because I believe he can, and I think the Lakers do too.
Yeah, and Bergie, how about that? We asked the question earlier, what's the number? You said 25-plus points.
Yep.
Peter just said 28. Yeah,
20 to 28.
Yeah, I mean, guys, he's got to be over 20, right? I mean, listen, like, he's got to be, and listen, he doesn't have to score 40. It's just not realistic. But, like, I mean, he can, but, like, he's got to be in the 20s. I think LeBron's got to be in the 20s. You got to give me Rui at 16. You got to give me Ayton at 15. You know, like, there's got to be the balance, but AR's got to be over 20. I think. I really do.
Yeah, so if he has to get over
for them to win, yeah.
Geeter, I totally agree with you. That's what we were talking about earlier. But, like, how is he going to do it? Is there any way that, because, you know, the Thunder are still going to, they know how important Austin Reaves is to this game. They know, so as great as a defensive team as they are, they're not allowing him into the paint. So if he's not allowed into the paint and not hitting his threes, what does he have to do to actually get those guys off of him a little bit?
Well, maybe they can get creative with running some certain actions and running some certain sets for him. Maybe he can also be a little bit off ball and not always be the usage guy. So maybe there's a spot up situation with the ball moving, but also they got to get out in transition, and that's the hardest thing to do against this OKC team because they play so efficiently, and like you said, they don't really allow you to do it. I would like for them to just get some easy buckets. I mean, maybe you still run that high pick and roll. Maybe he gets to the line a few times, but if he can see that first three go in, maybe there's more opportunities there. But yeah, Berg, it's not easy, man. Like, they are physical with him. They throw a lot of bodies at him, and I think the difference between this team and the other team, and by the way, Minnesota kind of had that blueprint last year, right, with McDaniels at Ant and guys like that playing super physical with him. But then this year he kind of solved that and had a lot of success against Minnesota. So they just got to find creative ways. But one thing with this OKC team that just kind of blew me away was, everyone kind of tightens it up in the playoffs, like 8 guys, maybe 9 at the most, and they're still running waves of 11 at you.
Yep,
they're running waves of 11 at you. 11 guys.
And Reaves has been, in his playoff career, has not been great. And yes, he's coming off the oblique injury. We talk to a lot of people here at ESPN LA, and we're talking to a lot of people that work for the team, so probably can't answer as well as you can that's outside. Mm-hmm. What do you do with Austin Reaves in the offseason? Because he is not, it seems a little bit too physical of a game in the postseason for him. Do you give him the max? Do you think they should give him max? Can you give him less? What do you think the path for Austin Reaves is in the offseason?
You don't get cute. I do think you have to give him max, because if you don't, I think like the Brooklyn Nets will, or maybe the Bulls or somebody else will. Austin Reaves, you're not paying him that money to be your primary offensive option. You're paying him that money to be the co-star alongside Luka Doncic. And so if Luka's not healthy, then okay, you're not going to win, period. That's just the way it is. But yeah, you've got to pay Austin Reaves. Let's not make this complicated. You've got to pay that guy. He fits alongside Luka. They have a good dynamic. They have a good relationship. You need a secondary creator, scorer, and all that stuff to play alongside him, just like he thrived with Kyrie in Dallas. And I just think like Austin's whole personality, like everything's fit in LA. Don't make it messy. Don't make it complicated. You pay that guy.